Well, in a year filled with uncertainties, one sure bet seems to be the growth of sports betting in Indiana. Bill Benner takes a deeper dive inside Indiana sports. Bill, over to you.
Gary, thank you. Earlier this month, the Indiana Gaming Commission reported that the Indiana sports wagering totaled a November record of more than $250 million, a figure aided by the success of the college football programs at Notre Dame in Indiana and the Indianapolis Colts drive toward the NFL playoffs. That meant $2.4 million for state tax coffers and a total of nearly $15 million in revenue for the state since sports wagering was legalized in Indiana in 2019. And joining us today to offer perspective is Jessica Welman, who serves as an analyst for a website called PlayIndiana. And we welcome Jessica to the program. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, I'm wonderful, and we appreciate you being on the show. You guys monitor this all the time. And again, a staggering month of sports wagering success in Indiana in November. I think it was a 90% increase year over year from last November. Kind of what's driving this?
You know, a lot of it is what you mentioned, the Hoosier football success, the fact that Notre Dame is having such a benchmark year and that the Colts are having a good season as well. You know, local teams we see drive these local state numbers quite a bit. But it's also simply that we're a year into Indiana sports betting now. October 2019 was the first month that operators took bets, and now there are more operators in the space. And I think, you know, we had obviously the dip of when there were basically no sports to bet on, what with COVID-19. But now that we're coming back with new operators like BetMGM and PointsBet who are not wasting money. They are spending on marketing and awareness and getting the word out in Indiana about what you can bet on and how much fun it can be.
Well, and they certainly are getting the word out, a robust marketing and advertising campaign. It's hard to turn on the television or radio at any time and not see something promoting sports gaming. Let's talk about your service and what you do. What is Play Indiana, Jessica?
We are a news resource for gamblers in Indiana or anybody just interested in the Indiana gambling scene. So sports betting is obviously the bulk of what we're looking at just because it seems to be the newest, biggest industry. But we also cover the Indiana lottery, what's going on with land-based casinos, and any other types of gambling that are offered in Indiana.
Jessica, you're a native Kentuckian, but you got your master's degree at Indiana University. You are certainly aware that this is a conservative state. There was a lot of trepidation as Indiana moved toward legalizing sports wagering, but it's been a robust tax revenue generator for the state of Indiana.
It absolutely has, and I think what helps with Indiana is that it's a gambling environment that draws from other states. You have Kentucky that doesn't have casinos or sports betting. You have Ohio that doesn't have sports betting. And Illinois, up until recently, didn't have sports betting either. So the fact that there are so many big cities on the edge of Indiana, I think makes it all the more beneficial that Indiana was quick to legalize sports betting, because a lot of the money that these sports books are making are actually probably not coming from Indianans.
And despite, you mentioned Illinois just recently coming online, despite increased competition, Indiana, you think will continue to thrive in this market?
Absolutely. I mean, Illinois cannot be understated as a sports betting market. It really has only launched betting in the last 5 months, and it's already a top 4 market in the United States as a sports betting market. But the fact that Indiana, since launch, continues to grow and build the number of bets and amount of money being wagered each month leads me to believe that it's not as I thought it would take a hit given Illinois launching, but it seems to be a very stable market, a very healthy market. And I think a lot of that is because the Indiana Gaming Commission has taken a very forward-thinking approach to betting, and they do a lot of interesting things. They follow along with New Jersey and offer things like betting on the Oscars. You could bet on the Nathan's hot dog eating contest this year. And I think that the fact that they're willing to try new things when other states won't will continue to benefit them in the long term.
Jessica, as we wrap up, if people want to learn more about Play Indiana or just follow the staggering numbers, how can they do that?
They should check into PlayIndiana.com. We have the numbers right away. We have historical numbers to take a look at who's on the rise, who's not, and We've got all sorts of interesting stories that are not as businessy too. So if anybody has an interest in gaming, PlayIndiana.com is the place to be.
Well, Jessica, we certainly appreciate your insights. You're an analyst for PlayIndiana.com, and we wish you the best going forward. And thanks for being on the show with us.
Thank you for having me.
Gary, back to you.